Hello and welcome to tonight's edition of Cracking the Cryptic, where we're going to be taking a look at a new Qodec puzzle. Qodec is one of my very favourite constructors and a very, very nice chap as well. Mark and I had the pleasure of having lunch with him in London a couple of years ago now, maybe even more than a couple of years. Gosh, time flies. We met Qodec and Qodec's mother, who was also delightful. Anyway. This puzzle is called Rhubarb and Custard, but the spelling of rhubarb is normal, so I don't think it's a reference to the children's TV show that used to be. I think that was on television when I was younger. It had a very strange theme, or it had very strange theme music. Anyway, rhubarb and custard with this spelling not only is a dessert, but I think it is like a piece of confectionery, isn't it? Purple and yellow, sort of quite fluorescent stuff. I have no idea why this is called that. There is no colouring in the grid. We've actually got a little killer Sudoku to do today, and I haven't done one of these in yonks. They used to be, very, very common, but they really dropped out of fashion. Anyway, this puzzle. Oh, by the way, yeah, we had some fulsome recommendations to do this. I snipped one of the emails we had. The following. It's insanely good. I've not often been so amazed by a puzzle. It's an absolute jaw-dropping geometric masterpiece. Praise indeed. Anyway, this is what I'm going to try in tonight's video. I don't have much news for you. Don't have any birthdays to talk about today. So what else could I mention? I'll mention the fact that over on Patreon we have our puzzle club, our Sudoku club. It's a couple of bucks a month to join us over there. All sorts of extra content, including, of course, our monthly competitions, which are always some sort of Sudoku hunt. So lots of fun to be had there. There's extra crossword content as well for those of you interested in such things. And apart from that, just do like and subscribe if you do enjoy the content. The algorithm sort of understands that people do like variant Sudoku, but more people would like it. It's amazing how many people actually I meet in real life, and I tell them what I do, and at first I say I'm a YouTuber, and they go, "Whoa, what do you do?" And then I explain it, and they go, they have one of two reactions. They either go, "What?" Actually, that's probably the more common one, or some people say, "Oh, I really like Sudoku. You've never been recommended to me." So I do think the algorithm has more jobs to do. Algorithm, get on with your job. Anyway, with that said and done, let's have a look at Qodec's puzzle. Rhubarb and Custard. These are the rules. Normal Sudoku rules apply. So we have to put the digits 1 to 9 once each in every row, every column, and every 3x3 box. Digits along diagonals indicated by arrows outside the grid must sum to the given number on that arrow. So those cells, let's highlight them. Oh, I've got a funny palette today. Why have I got? I don't know why. My computer was on a funny palette. Those 5 cells sum to 30. These 4 cells sum to 16, etc. So hopefully that's fairly self-explanatory. And there's only one more rule. The cell with the opaque grey circle contains an odd digit, so this cell has to be odd. Now I must give a warning. When I'm recording this, it is possible I'll get a phone call from the garage wanting me to go and collect a car. If I have to do that, I will have to pause, but hopefully that won't happen. Do have a go at the puzzle. The way to play is to click the link under the video as usual, but now I get to play. Let's get cracking. Now, there is, well, I can do the 3 diagonals. 2 cells adding up to 3. They must be 1, 2 pairs, mustn't they? There are very few degrees of freedom on the negative diagonal. So if you know your 24 times table, and I've done so many Sudokus, I sort of do. I know the maximum sum of this diagonal is 72. And that's because, of course, if you put 7, 8 and 9 in a box like that, 7, 8 and 9 sum to 24. So that's the maximum you can make 3 different Sudoku digits sum to. And 3 lots of 24 is 72. So Now, is that putting pressure on the positive diagonal? Because the minute... yeah, no, that's exactly it, isn't it? Right, so that's where we... right, so the pressure... There's two sources of pressure in the puzzle. The negative diagonal, sorry, that's this one. It's often called the negative diagonal because it would have a negative gradient if you plotted y against x. This diagonal is putting pressure upwards on the central digit, but the diagonal here is putting downward pressure, because you can see if we minimize everything on the positive diagonal, it would sum to 18, 3 lots of 6, because 1, 2 and 3 sum to 6. So there's only a relatively few degrees of freedom. But actually, if this was a 6, which is the absolute minimum it could be, because if we make it 5, we can't make this diagonal add up to enough. Because if this was a 5, then the maximum those 3 digits could add up to would be 22. And 22 plus 2 lots of 24 is 70. It's not 71. So we could make this a 6. And if we do make this a 6, well, these would be a 1-2 pair. So these 3 digits add up to 9. 9 plus 12, which is 2 lots of 1, 2, 3, is 21. So that must be what's going on. We've got a digit, which is the central digit, is a 6. We've got to 8, 9 those. We've got to 7, 8, 9 these. And we've got to 1... Oh, no, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this a slightly more sophisticated way. I'm going to do it like that and then lop 3 out of those 2. So we've actually got loads and loads of very helpful pencil marks, I think. Oh, no, I was about to use that 8 to give me that digit. That's such nonsense. Right, this 10 diagonal can't have... These 2 squares add up to 10, and they can't be 1, 9, 2, 8, or 3, 7, so they must be 4 and 6. 16 diagonal. The minimum sum of those squares is now 5 and 7, which is 12, isn't it? Right, so these squares add up to a maximum of 4. So they're from 1, 2, and 3. We couldn't put as much as 4 into either of these squares because the other side would have to be a 0. Now, does that mean, so if these were a double 1, these would have to add up to 14. No, they could still have 9 in them. Okay. That's really weird. So, we've got a 1, 2, 3 triple in column 1. And a 1, 2, 3 triple in row 9, actually. So, well, yeah, okay. I can't make... If I make this... Oh, have I not got a 3 in the corner now? I might be wrong about this. But there's a very pretty arrangement. If we look at these digits as a sort of congregation, what I'm noticing is if I make the corner digit a 1 or a 2, then this digit would be a 3 and this digit would be a 3. And I don't think that's possible, because if both of those are 3, these squares by the 16 diagonal must add up to 10. But we've exhausted every way we possibly have of making 2 different numbers add up to 10 in the box already. We did that when we did the 10 diagonal. So I think what we get is a 3 in the corner. That's 3 in the corner. That's 3 in the spotlight losing its religion. Thank you, Qodec, for going straight there. That's very kind of you. So now we probably need to get rid of the purplification, don't we? Well, or do we? Maybe we get rid of the purplification. We might want to colour the 1s and 2s, because I can see that we can actually do that. At least a little bit. No, I think we can fully do it. Actually, I'm going to do that because I can see there's coordination in the sense that that square, if I make that green, that's purple, this is green, so that's purple, and that's green, and that's purple. And therefore that's purple using column 4, so that's green. Oh, green is in one of those two. What about, no, purple is in one of those two. There's got to be some, that can't be green. Because, oh, that's purple as well. Oh, hang on a moment. I've got a 10. Oh, sorry. My eyes have been down here. But actually, have we got exactly the same here? Look. I've got a 10 diagonal. That seems to have to be 4, 6. So those are adding up to 16. Yeah, this is the same. The minimum I can make those is 5, 7, which add up to 12. So the minimum I can make these squares, they add up to a maximum of 4. So they're from 1, 2, and 3. I'm not certain I'm going to get... Yeah, well, actually, look. Yes, I am. Yeah, if I make this corner digit 1 or 2, it will pair up, in effect, with the purple digit. So this would be green in my new colouring scheme. These would both be 3. These would have to add up to 10, and that's impossible. So I get the thing again. That's 3 in the corner, that's 3 in the spotlight, losing its religion. Right, now that's going to help me with my colouring, because both of those are now green. Yeah, that's green, so that's got to be purple. I've got 4 purples looking at box 6, so I ought to be able to place another purple. There we go. And I've got an absolute... I've got 4 purples, or 4 greens, looking at box 8. Yeah, there's so much symmetry, actually, that... Yeah, I can get that one. Does that mean I get that one as well? That's definitely green, because there are 4 greens looking at box 4. Yes, there are. There are 4 purples looking at box 2. So we complete the panoply of 1s and 2s just by colouring. So 8. I'm going to use the given digit there. So that's in one of those 2 squares. So that isn't an 8. The same is true here. Yeah. Okay. So what I should... Oh, it doesn't actually affect the same square. What I should have done is appreciated earlier that there is a lot of symmetry around the negative diagonal. So when we find some logic anywhere in the puzzle, we need to see if we can apply it. If we reflect it around this diagonal, we need to see if we can apply that logic in the equivalent box. Can that be 8? If that's 8, what have we got? Oh, we've got the same here. So, one of these pairs is 5, 7, but I don't know which one. And the reason I'm seeing that is because spanning, if you like, these 16 diagonals are 2 greens or 2 purples. So, if green was 2, these 2 would add up to 4. If purple was 2, these 2 would add up to 4. And therefore the middle bits in each case, whichever one has 2, is going to have 2 middle digits that add up to 12. And the only way that will work is with a 5, 7 pair. So one of these boxes, either this box or this box, has an... Oh, I see what this is doing. Right. Okay, this is complicated. One of these boxes, don't know which one, has a 5, 7 in either that square or that square, depending on which of purple and green is 2. Now, that means, let's just say it's this box for the sake of exposition. Let's say these 2 are 2. Then these are 5, 7, which means in this box, 8 and 9 go in those positions. But look, 8 is there, and in this box, 8 is there, the equivalent position reflected around the negative diagonal. So, in fact, this would be 9 in that instance, and this would be 8. Now, but if instead green was 2, this would be 9. So one of those two digits there, I'm going to highlight it, one of those two blue digits is a 9 in this puzzle. I don't know which one, but whichever one of those is a 9, it's looking at that square. That can't be 9. That might have been a very overcomplicated way of actually not doing anything useful, you know. But I just thought that looked very fascinating to me. So if I can't see how it's going to, I've not used these two because there are two diagonal clues I've not looked at yet, so I'm probably going to have to look at those in a moment or two. That clue as well, look, that's got to be an odd digit, which is not a 1, so I'm actually going to pencil mark it. That's 3, 5, 7 or 9. One of these is 5, 7. So how does it work on the other one? Let's think about that. So, in fact, I better make them different colours. So one of these diagonals is a 5, 7 pair, and that's going to be associated with double 2. If you had double 1 here, these have to add up to, yeah, they have to add up to 14 without using 6. So they would be 5, 9. So, alright, so yellow and orange are either 5, 7 or 5, 9, and they definitely include 5. And I don't know what that does. Oh, well, I do know what it does. So in neither case can you have 8 in those positions. That's straightforward. So 8s go in those positions. And now 8 is in one of these positions. 8 is in one of those positions. It's not quite symmetrical, is it? Because of the odd dot. Let's double click our 8s. Can we do, oh, hang on. Oh dear. Okay, that might be the garage calling. I really hate interrupting a video though if I'm at an impasse. So just let me spot something, and then I can come back to that, and I won't feel bad. Let's think about. Just going to have a look at these diagonals. We might have to consider these. Often with little killer, especially complicated little killer clues, you have to consider them together. But 25 in 4 cells. What are the maximum sum of those two then? 1, 2. So we could put, these are a maximum of 11, aren't they? They were 6 and 5. So these squares have to add up to 14. It's not that small. But we could do 14 with double 7. Okay, no, sorry. Oh, actually, let's come back to this box. Where's 3 in that box? 3 is on the diagonal. So actually those are not 3, 6, 5, they're 3, 6, which is 9. So these add up to 16 now as a minimum, which means that the minimum, right, so these are from 7, 8 and 9 now. They could be double 8. I bet there's a reason they can't be double 8. If they're double 8, that's a 9. If well, no, hang on, I've got to be careful here. Because these don't have to be 3, 6. This could be 3, 5. And then these would add up to, these would be an 8, 9. Oh, no, right. That's it. That's it. Right. If this was a 3, 5 pair, which, oh no, hang on, but this could be a 3, 4 pair if that is double 9. I hadn't thought of that. It's not a 3, 5 pair. That's the only thing I can say. Because if this is a 3, 5 pair, these add up to 8, so these add up to 17. to make 25 overall. So these would be different. They would be an 8-9 pair, and they would be looking at this square and breaking it. So these are either 3-4 or 3-6. And these squares add up to 16. Well, hang on, have I gone crazy? No, maybe I think I've gone mad. Sorry. Hang on, I've now lost my train of thought. I should have done that more slowly. 3-6. 16 I can do, because I can mess about with that. That could be 8-8 or 7-9. I can't see why that's breaking anything. Yeah, that's okay, isn't it? So 3-6 works, 3-5 doesn't, 3-4 does work. So I thought, okay, it is fine. 3-4 does work because 7 makes these have to be 9, and that would put an 8 here. Okay, so 5 is in one of those two squares. That's what we've learned from that. And that's useless. Is it? Or is that useless? Golly, what's happening in this puzzle then? These either add up to 16 or 18. I wonder if I can see if I can get rid of 7. If there's a reason neither of these could contain 7, then these would be the same digit, and that feels like it would be important. And why? Oh, wait a minute. One of these blue squares was 9. Oh, now I feel like that's doing something. What's that doing? Oh, hang on. What are the options for the blue square? It's only 7 or 9. Because I know this is a 5-7-9 triple by Sudoku, and I know the 5 is in the orange squares. Right, so that's giving me there's a triple in the top row, which I had not appreciated, which is that's going to do things. So I'm now going to step away, and I will come back in a few minutes' time. Right, okay, now I've got to get my head back in the game. So what were we doing? We were looking at... Oh, yes, we'd worked out, hadn't we, that we'd got this... The blue squares were restricted. I remember one of the blue squares had to be 9. And I've got a 7-8-9 triple. I've got a 1-2 pair and a 3. So I need 4s, 5s and 6s into these squares. And the same must be true here. No, and that's not a 6 because there's a 6 in the middle. So I've got sort of... Well, I've got something, but it's not. Okay, and all of this came from considering the 25 diagonal. And, well, I haven't looked yet at the 30 diagonal, have I? So why don't we highlight that and see what we can... No, I don't want to do it in yellow. I want to do it in a colour I haven't used yet. Let's use grey. So, do we know whether these are the same? How? Oh, I have no idea. How? Sorry, I'm just trying to... I think mostly what I'm trying to do is get my head back into the puzzle, which is always a problem for me when I step away from it, because I think over the years, you know, you teach your brain when you move on to a new puzzle to forget everything really that it did on the last puzzle you did. And when you walk away from a puzzle, that's almost what I feel like I've done here. But come on, we can do better. We can I'm sure understand. If these were different, they'd add up to 9. These would add up to 21. That's quite a high total, but I mean, even if these are the same, these still do have to add up to at least 20, don't they? But these two digits could be the same. But do they have to be very high or not? Oh, I don't know. Or is it the corner digit? Oh, can we have 9s in both of those? Won't that make the purple and the green digits the same? Oh, that would be lovely if that's right. Yeah, that's it. Right. So what we have to do, okay, is this square. That's the key. Because if this is 7, both of these are 9 by Sudoku. So both orange and yellow would be 5 7 pairs, adding up to 12, which would mean purple would need to be 2, and green would need to be 2 as well, and that won't work. Oh, I've got a horrible feeling this isn't going to do anything, because it means this is 8, because it can't be 7, which means that can't be 8, and this can't be 8. Ah. Oh, that's lovely. Good grief. This is very clever. Wow. Because now what's interesting me is these two, this 7, 9. Now, the question here, surely, is can these be the same digit? Because if they can't be the same, then this is seeing a 7, 9 pair and has to be an 8. Now, because we know, yeah, so I need to change my colouring here, because my colouring seems to be suggesting that the blue squares are the same. They are definitely not the same. Because remember, either orange and yellow are different, because green and purple are different. It's remarkable what's going on here. There's so many things that flow from the fact that that orange and yellow have to be different, which has caused purple and green to have to be different. It causes red and blue to have to be different, which means that this square is red and this square is blue, sort of by Sudoku. It means these two squares are different. They are looking at this square, which forces it to be an 8, which means this is a 9. That is not an 8. Oh, we don't get the equivalent down there because of the naughty thing. We get a 9 here. Oh, I see. The other thing we're going to get, though, is we're going to fix this 25 diagonal. But let's just mull. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. Let's just see if we can do better. I can't see anything immediately emerging in the middle box. So let's come back here. Having proved this 7, 9 pair are different digits, they add up to 16, which means these add up to 9 by maths, which means because they include a 3, they are in fact a 3, 6 pair. So that option where we were thinking about these being double 9 has been ruled out. So if these are 3, 6, these squares don't include 6. So they have become a 4, 5 pair. Right, so this is a 4. Right, there's a 4, 5 pair here, so that's a 6. This is a 4. I don't know what that's doing. Have we got the same thing down column 1? We do. We have a 4, 5 pair here, so this is a 6. And this is a 4. So 4 in box 9 is a little tiny bit restricted, and 6 is a little bit restricted in a different way. So 6 moves into the sort of wing squares, 4 moves into the internal pair. Ah, so yeah, okay. This is ridiculous. Now I'm going to go and get rid of my grey colouring, because through the mechanism that is box 1, this 4, 5 pair is different, isn't it? These two squares are clearly different, and that means these two squares are clearly different, and they sum therefore to 9, which means these 3 squares, I don't know whether I should colour my 4s and 5s. I'm sort of running out of colours here. Let's try. Oh, I haven't used light green. So that can be grey. That can be light green. But these three squares now add up to 30 minus 9, which is 21. And that's a 7 or a 9. So if that's a 7, these add up to 14 without using 8. So they would be 5, 9. Or double 7. Oh, no, no, no. Ah, okay. I'm going to think about that a bit harder. If that's 7, let's look at these two squares. They have to add up to 14 then. Now, they can't be 8, 6 because of this 8. They can't be double 7 because of there's a 7 in either blue or red. So can they be 5, 9? I don't know. Maybe. If they're 5, 9, I feel like, well, if they're 5 and 9, that becomes a 7, so that would be a 9. Oh, but hang on, hang on, that just break. That's ridiculous. Right, that doesn't work for the most weird reason. Right, if that's 5, 9, sorry, I didn't see this straight away at all, but it's beautiful. If this is 5, 9, which it could be on the face of it, so we're starting this presumption with this being a 7, but of course that makes this a 9, and so this can't include 9. Oh, in fact, that's the most beautiful way of looking at it. Isn't it? You make this a 7, it makes this a 9, and now these can't include 9, they can't include 8, and they can't be double 7 because of the 7s that must exist in one of those squares. The Qodec, this is ridiculous. This is a ridiculous puzzle. That means this is 9 because we've ruled out every way of making those add up to 14. So this is 7. Ah, now that's not 9 now. And that's not 9, presumably. We're going to have to think about these two digits, but let's just see if we can do anything else magical. Well, 9 is now definitely in one of those two squares. Oh, it feels like it's trying to be helpful, doesn't it? 9 is in one of those two squares. Nearly. Okay, let's try the maths then. So the maths are applying, so we've got 18 at the moment in those three digits, and we need 30, so these add up to 12. And they don't involve 8. So they're either, could they be double 6? No, that's interesting. They can't be double 6, because where would you put 6 in box 1? The answer to that is nowhere. So they are either 5, 7. Well, they can't be 5, 7. There's 7s looking at them. So the only thing they can be is 3, 9, I think. And if this doesn't work, I've made a mistake. So these are 3 and 9. Let's just think about this for a second or two, though, because that is... Well, what is that saying then? So one of these are different. So 3 is in one of those two. 3 is in one of these two. Which... So if that's the 3, that's the 3. One of these is a 3. Not seeing anything very clever there, I have to say. If that's a 9, that's a 7. So that would be a 9. So one of these is the opposite of blue and red. Oh, this, I don't know. Oh, is it something to do with this then? Don't be ridiculous, Simon. Oh, No, nearly. Where's 8 in box 2? It's only got 2 places, so presumably that, yeah, where's 8 in box 4? That's restricted. Oh, look, I've got sort of 2 X-wings of 8s left. So that was not an intelligent thought. Bother. How is this ever going to get disambiguated? Oh, is it going to be the 1s and 2s somehow, which implies there's some way, but it's got to be an asymmetrical way of resolving what's going on here. It must somehow, I think, come down to this dot. But that's a slightly strange thought. Right. I'm very unsure about where to look here. I can force virtual 4-5 pairs in columns 5 and row 5. I can see that, because where's the green digit in box 5? And it's got to be in one of those squares. And where's the grey digit? It's got to be in one of those squares. Which is putting very mild pressure. Or is it? No. So in this row, those squares include a 4-5-6 triple, as well as a 1-2 pair. So the rest of the row has to be made up of 3. Is it 3, 7, 8, 9? Yeah, so these squares are from 3, 7, 8, and 9. Okay, I'm actually going to pencil mark that and think harder about that. That's definitely not 8. That's definitely not 7. I don't think this one can be 3 either. Because isn't one of these 3? One of these is 3, because if these were a 6-9 pair, both of these would be 3, and that would definitely break the world. So that's not 3. So this is 8 or 9. That's not 3. There's a 3 looking at it. So that's 7 or 9. So, okay, I've got a 7-9 pair in column 9. So these squares are a 5-6 pair. That's unexpected. I wonder if this is going to work here as well. And I'm wondering if I even care. Well, I would care, wouldn't I? Because that would give me a 5-6. Good grief. Would that give me a 5-6 pair in box 9? It might do, you know. Can I do better with this cell? I don't know. Alright, so how do we arrive at this conclusion? I was thinking about, yeah, the 4-5 pair in row 5. So I'm going to think about the same thing in column 5. Where again, I've got a 1-2 pair, a 4-5 pair between those 3 digits, and a 6. So it's 3 7s, 8s, and 9s. Now that square again can't be 3 because this can't be 9 and 6 because that would be double 3. So that is 8 or 9. It's the counterpart of this one. Probably it has to be different. These probably have to be different. I think they do have to be different. But then these two squares are from 3, 7, 8, and 9. That can't be 3 or 8, so that gives me the same thing. That one is the same as that one, isn't it? So, right, but this row has got a 5-6 pair in it to complete it. These squares are a 5-6 pair now. So these squares are a 4 and a something. A 4 and a 3. Okay, 4 and 3. And somehow I need this to do something for me. Or we might have to colour. We might have to colour even more things in the grid. I'm wondering about colouring 7s and 9s now. I'm not sure actually. Or is there some trickery we can do? Oh no, I'm not sure. I'm not sure. Maybe that digit needs investigation. If we... Or do we have to use the fact that we know that... I think I know that these are different. I do know these. Oh, or do I actually? Actually, I'm not sure now. If they were both... No, I'm not sure. My spider sense is tingling about this pair of digits. I know one of them has a 9 looking at it because red or blue is 9. So one of them at least is 8. But do they both have to be 8? So let's say that this red, let's say red was a 9. Then this would be a 7. This is a 9. So this is a 3. This is a 6. This is a 3. So this is a 9. Yeah, okay. So that also, so this is a pair of 8s. Because if you track the way that the 9s flow through the puzzle, there's always a 9 in one of these two squares. I think. I think that's true. Because if that's not true, let's think about how a different way we could discover that. If neither of these were a 9, then let's look at that. That's going to be a 7-3 pair. I think we're going to get double 9 here now. Because we know that the red and we know these two have to be different to add up to 16. And we know these two have to add up to 12, don't we? Across this boundary. So we get double 9'd. Yeah, so that's lovely, actually. So the more you peel this onion, the more clever its heart becomes. Because, yeah. So I'd spotted these had to be different. I'd spotted you have to have a 3 in each of these pairs, but actually I should have also noted that there is a 9 in each of those positions, and therefore neither of these can be 9, and both of these are 8. Now, what, you may ask, is that doing? That is getting rid of 8 from those squares. 9 comes out of that square. I haven't pencil marked its equivalent because I don't have that opportunity. So now, oh, no, so nearly. Well, no, that's still good. That is still good because I've now spotted a break in the symmetry. And that break in the symmetry is coming here, look. Have I got, yeah, I can write 8s into those squares. I need to put 8s into the grid. But I think much more important is I want to look at those 4 squares together because they seem to have to be the odd numbers in row 8 that are not 1. They are a 3, 5, 7, 9 quadruple, and therefore, what is that digit? And the answer to that is 4. It must be a 4 by Sudoku, which means this is a 3. Right, okay, that's given me a 7-9 pair here, but also 4 has to be here now by Sudoku. Oh, I'm trying desperately hard to see if that does anything. This 7-9 pair, is that doing anything? It puts 7 vertical, doesn't it? 7 has to be in one of those squares, so that's no longer 7. That's, oh, actually, hang on, is that right? So getting this 7-9 pair here, 7 is in one of those two squares. 7, that's looking at that square, making it a 9. So this is a 3. I've now got a 5-7 pair here. So this is a 9. That's a 7. Come on. Come on. That's a 9. That's a 7. That's not going to... Oh, no. That is doing... That's giving me a 5 here. So that's 9, that's 7. We know red is therefore 7, which means blue is the 9. So that's 5, that's 7. Now we're going to get all of our purples. But let's just keep going with Sudoku for a moment. 6, 3, 9. That's adding up. That diagonal is working. Yeah, I must be able to get that digit. That's a 5, isn't it? In the row. I've not put 5 in, so that's 5. So grey is 4, grey is 4. So these are 5s. So this is a 5-7 pair now, which we can do the order of. So this must be a 4 and a 3, which I can do the order of. Goodness me. Have we cracked this? We might have done, you know. That seems to have to be a 6 by the column. So that's a 5, that's a 6, that's a 5, that's a 6. What's this digit? That's a 5. Right, so we've not put 4 and 7 into what we can do. They can go into those squares. So that's a 7, that's a 6. We've not put 3 and 4, so 4 goes here, 3 goes here, 3 goes here, 6 goes here. And I may be wrong, but I think all we do now is note that 9 and 5 is 14, so green is 1. And 5 and 7 is 12, so purple is 2. And then we click tip. Yeah, that's right. Isn't that brilliant? Isn't that brilliant? Solve counter 20. That was sensational. Well, I tell you something about that puzzle that is very, very surprising to me. That did not solve like any little killer Sudoku I've ever done before. I mean, yes, there was a bit of maths in it, but it was all about sort of keeping track of where digits had to go in symmetrical positions without knowing how it would resolve. But you could sort of pinpoint enough information, and it pointed into the boxes, in the corners especially, and forced things. It's beautiful. It's a weird and beautiful puzzle, that. Very strange and really rather remarkable. Really loved it. And I know I haven't done my colouring as well as people would like. Perhaps I should. No, I am. Well, let's uncolour some things. That's going to be the quickest way of doing it, isn't it? Let's uncolour everything apart from those lovely 1s and 2s. There we go. And that's how we'll leave our solution. Let me know in the comments how you got on. I enjoy the comments, especially... Oh, no, rhubarb and custard. I should make the green ones yellow, of course. There we go. That's much better. I wonder... I don't know what... I'm still not sure whether there's something deeper to the rhubarb and custard reference. I don't know. I'll let the erudite commentators tell me. Thanks to Qodec for another masterpiece. Thank you for watching, and we'll be back later with another edition of Cracking the Cryptic.